Many years ago, as a young paramedic in South Africa, I got a last-minute call for some overtime, which I thought was great, to do a flight medical retrieval of a patient from one town to another. Got to the hospital, the patient wasn't terribly unwell, just wore my standard precautions, had some safety glasses on and some gloves, put up IVs, prepared the patient for the flight and took care of him for about a 2-hour flight in really close quarters on an aircraft. When I got to the receiving hospital, I got the shock of my life. Everybody was in level A protection suits, breathing apparatus, and the hospital was in lockdown waiting for my patient. And I was informed that my patient was a suspected Congo fever patient, which is a hemorrhagic fever. And I've just spent the last 3.5 hours with this patient in close proximity with none of the protection that was on. It was about 48 hours it took for them to get back to us and it was the same thing: go home, don't mingle, don't do anything, don't go out, just stay home and wait until we tell you you've either got it or you don't have it. And in the end, there was a good outcome. The patient didn't have Congo fever, but it was an anxious few hours, and especially on the flight back, the pilots, everybody was in the same situation as I was. So it's a very real example for me. So when we talk about people being afraid and how they feel when you have a potential exposure, I absolutely know how that feels, and that's what I keep in the back of my mind when all the decisions I make for the ambulance service and we talk about PPE and so on, is that how I felt, because yes, slightly different. This was a hemorrhagic fever, but it's personal for me when I do those type of decisions.